50, 60 years. People, it's coming. Time has changed. There's gonna, somebody walk through the front door down there, they're gonna go be shooting and killing people, and then you're gonna wonder, what the heck? It's happening everywhere. So we need to get up off our dust, and we need to figure out what we need to do to keep our employees here at this courthouse and everything safe. Check it out every day on the news. It's here. You can't turn a blind shoulder to it anymore. If you do, you're crazy. I mean, that's the only way I'm gonna put that. It's happening in Nashville, Chattanooga, Atlanta, Memphis, everywhere across the nation. Check it out. You don't have to take my word for it. It happens. It's gonna happen in Coffee County over here 2 or 3 years ago. Right in their judicial building. It happened up in Rome County. That's getting close to home. You need to find whatever it is that you need to do to start securing this courthouse and the people that work here. And hopefully we can come to a solution to help this. Because I'm here to tell you, I work for the sheriff's department. And if somebody don't do something and I get hurt or killed, my life's going on in the damn county. Because our sheriff has shown where we need this stuff. You guys know this as well as anybody. And so we gotta protect these people sitting right here. What have we got in place tonight to protect everybody that's in this building right here? We got nothing. If a shooter comes in, all they gotta do is walk through that front door, come up here and walk in here with an AR-15. Hey, got a bunch of dead people. What do we need to do to protect citizens? We need to protect this council right here so that they can make good decisions. But we need to protect this lady here in her office as well as everybody else in this courthouse for their offices. I hate to put it that way, but times are changing, folks. We've got to do something. Ball's in your court. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Next thing, that concludes the public comment period. Thank you all for your participation. The next item on the agenda is to approve notaries.
We don't have any notaries.
No notaries, okay. Number 10, item number 10 is the budget amendment for the sheriff's department. Gentlemen and ladies, y'all want to review that?
It's basically just a wash. You're receiving monies back that you spent.
Ms. Hilda?
Yes. Okay. The motor vehicles, y'all have. That is coming out of drug fund balance. All of this is coming out of the drug fund. We were approved to get the cameras for the jail. They had started working on those yesterday. And the money, we got seizures, that's where the money is coming from to get vehicles and the new equipment from the drug fund.
Does it out of taxpayers' funds?
It's just a wash of the expense to cover the insurance, we got the checks to cover the extra
That's
vehicle.
on the sheriff's part. On account on the sheriff's department, where we got the money from the raids that happened, we got that money.
We just include that back in maintenance line, big vehicle, put back on the road.
both of these together?
Yes.
We're approving both of these together? Okay, yep, go ahead.
Yep.
Janine Floyd,
You got some more, before if you wanna ask some questions, we can continue the questions, but we've already kind of called it.
Okay. Okay,
It's a wash.
okay. Go, yes.
Okay.
Russell Reed,
Yes.
Corey Davenport,
Yes.
Karen Ashford,
Yes.
Jim Bush,
Yes.
Greg Mitchell,
Yes.
Rick Brandon,
Yes.
Randy Gannon,
Yes.
Tim Davenport,
I would like to qualify this, I will say yes, but I would like to see any budget, any amendments go before a budget committee in the future. We need to have good functioning committees. We don't, like you're telling me this, and I understand what everybody's saying in the time frame that we are in right now, that we need this done, but we're gonna have to start using our committees, in my opinion. So yes.
Ronnie Mahaffey,
Yes.
Item number 11 is to begin the process. I guess we're all aware that we passed the 1981 Act. We have to implement that over the course of this year. Tonight, and we do have people here that got any questions concerning, the 1981 Act. We have Ben Rogers, from CPAS. He might know what we pointed out. But anyway, I recommend that, we move the process forward. We do know what 3 members are. Is there any questions, any discussion on how do y'all wanna proceed with the beginning of a financial committee? We have to kind of do, the way I see it, in order to continue on this year, we'll have to have a budget committee established. But we have to begin the process of financial committee and, the establishment of that, the 1981 Act, the directive. So, we need to move in that direction. I would prefer if you, go back, talk to, maybe the next meeting, we come back with some names to appoint. We need to appoint at least 4 members. We have 3, the director of schools, already mandated. We have the highway department chairman, Hancock, and myself are already on that committee. We just have to come up with 4 other names. We can develop a subcommittee. I'd like to table it for discussion. We've got to come up with names on how to move forward in the selection of the new financial director.
Mr. Bush, if I
Yes.
may, will that include someone from the citizenry of the county, like?
It can, as far as clarity. I just said, yes.
Okay, all right, so
It
it can include.
Can be somebody from the county.
Okay.
And I think just to be clear, I recommend that we start with the subcommittee first. 1 from each district, like we did the grievance committee, it's just a way. And each pair of commissioners bring back names. And at the next, meeting, we can present these names together. Again, I table it for discussion. Yes, Keith?
One thing I would also like to see along the lines of the committees is Rutherford County actually has a steering committee, and they have, the committee actually accepts applications for the citizens or whoever, that way you know who is interested on any kind of committee. And you will be able to get interested people, and they'll be able to say what their qualifications are. And the steering committee will actually be able to, basically talk to them and see what they think, and then recommend back to the board. Just an idea.
Well, I love the steering committee. I think that's a good idea. Because then you take all the committees that you've got and you've got a vote. You hand them to them and then they publish, these committees and say, we're accepting whatever, call it application, they submit their names, and then that way you can kind of get a process. Because, I don't need to be on some committees. Some committees I may be good to be on, but some
we have to essentially, by October, we need to have our committees solidified. But I would defer to y'all to come back and give me some names and whatever. I mean, or I can do that myself, but I just thought just to make sure that we're in the process of moving toward the 81 Act, that we need to have names on that committee, and then we can move forward.
When you talk about subcommittee, what are you talking about?
A subcommittee could be established in order to do what the steering committee, it may be a matter of semantics, but I saw the subcommittee and the steering committee. The steering committee, if I understand, basically, like Tim said, collects applicants based on qualifications and based on need and want, desire of the individual. A subcommittee could be established in order to look at the actual qualifications of the person to fill the position of the 1981 Act. Now, the requirement of the 1981 Act is to have four members. They can be from this commission, or they can be from the private sector, or admits. That's the way I understand it. Ben, have I misspoke on any of this?
No, it's 7 committee members total, 3 statutory members and the 4 of the commission.
Okay. I think this, I'm sorry.
I have a question for Ben. I know that we were told that the schools could opt out of this 81 Act.
They would have to go to the State Department of Education, to opt out of the 81 Act, and the State Department of Education would have to approve that before they could. The board cannot vote to opt out.
But if they do opt out, then they wouldn't be on this committee, right?
No.
If they opt out, we'd be essentially the 1957.
Well, Wilson County is the only county that's done that, and actually, I think their director of schools stayed on it. That's not my county, I'm not sure. But, you can do the 57, but you have to go back to the process again. The people voted it in, so you're basically with 81 Act. It had to be voted out by the people. So you've got the 81 Act going forward. You know, the schools are in it until the state decides they want. And the exception was, when Wilson County, it was just bad financial management, the bad practices, and the state said, you know what, you're better off being on your own. So that's happened one time.
Yeah, that has, you said, Ben, in other words, there has to be a gross misfunction of this people running the show, this financial 1981 Act.
Yes.
That the school system proved that they have not functioned properly.
That's correct.
But they were in initially, and then they were able, by blessings of the state, to fully set it down. But going into it, everybody's aboard.
Everybody's board.
Now, I'm gonna go back to the subcommittee. I think the steering committee is different from the subcommittee. The steering committee is, unless I'm misunderstanding you, is all about, all the committees we have. But you're talking about a subcommittee on this particular.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the subcommittee would be a group of whoever that got together and said, hey, look, we're, they're gonna be the ones asking the questions to the financial director. And then they're gonna come back, or the applicants rather, and then they're gonna come back and report to the 7 member bodies. Is that the way you see it?
Correct.
Okay.
Is there a time frame in which we have to have this implemented?
Yes.
August the
What's kind of?
2 years to July 1.
Yeah.
Next year.
We've got till 20.
See, when the election was held, July is passed. You got starting 2 years from July 1, 2019.
So right now, we're kind of in that,
We're in a
Sweet
free,
stage.
we're in
Yeah,
a free area.
yes.
That's why we have to move forward a budget committee to continue to do business for next year. And then we have to have a financial committee, which that's what we're talking about, in order to establish this director position. Am I-
Yeah, it starts in July 2019, the countdown does. And then from there, you have 2 years.
I was under the impression that we had to the end of the fiscal year.
I'm looking it up. I think it's 13 months.
That's
Yeah.
13 months.
That's what I thought. I thought it was 13 months, we had to have at least the director, or the director established.
The department should be functioning. 13 months.
Something like that. I don't think we have that much time.
But we actually have a year from the 1st of July.
Every month they start doing the process.
The be installed within 13 months, beginning July 1 of the fiscal year after its adoption. So it was adopted, it was voted in when?
In August. So we don't have, our 13 months doesn't start till July 1st.
That's right.
Nineteen.
So it's 13 months, so it's not quite 2 years, it's.
Correct.
Yeah.
If we're gonna do this, surely it's not gonna take that much time.
You'll be surprised.
I know, but I hope it don't.
You gotta find the director,
State funding and everything, yeah.
Means to fund it.
Working on that.
Yeah, we'll have to have the infrastructure established first before they can go into this position. That's kind of where we're at now. And I do think we have enough time to come back and have a subcommittee established before we establish, and establish the actual committee itself.
We establish the infrastructure, they have any help in that? I mean, it would kind of benefit if whoever's gonna get the position, where do we start at? Person or
Well-
the committee, then the committee gets,
We start the committee first, before we don't even, and the committee, that's why I recommended a subcommittee, we start a committee first in order to even receive applicants. And then when they can, we need to look at that, and then you need to think about who the 4 members of the financial director to add to the other 3. And that, we have time, I think, but we gotta move the process, I understand, that's part of this meeting.
it's time consuming, but it's, as long as we're moving.
As long as we're moving the process.
So are we asking for bring back names for the subcommittee or
Correct.
for the set?
That's what I think, we ought to bring back names for the subcommittee and bring back names for the 4 that sit on the board, as a final director. Right. That's what it's a little complicated, it's a little moving, I've spent some time reading
How
it.
many is on the supplement?
I recommend 5, 1 from each district. Odd number.
And that group right there is gonna be basically interviewing the candidates for financial director.
And studying the process
Studying
and
the
making
process.
sure we're following the guidelines and moving in the direction of establishing, fully within the 1981 Act. That's kind of why I recommend the 5-member subcommittee.
you also got to come up with standards for your director. What kind of education you want that won't him or her out.
Correct.
And I recommend also on this subcommittee you're talking about, they need to have an area of expertise in this to make they definitely need a college education.
No, it's volunteer.
So an accountant would be a great person to put on that
Exactly.
subcommittee. Correct, because they're gonna know what to ask.
They're gonna
for
have to
financial
ask what to look for and how to.
Accountant,
CPA.
CPA.
It's like the subcommittee.
From a subcommittee, the subcommittee is not, I thought initially the subcommittee was being shown on the table to identify the 4 members to make up the committee to choose the director. Okay, so are we still?
well, and we're moving it, and we're moving the ball on down the field a little bit faster. That's exactly what we need to get. I think.
So your subcommittees,
It's just that, again, we're required in this meeting to begin the process of implementing the 1981. That is the requirement. And so if we've got a lot more questions and we don't quite understand, I recommend slowing her back down, tabling the issue even. There's a lot of options we have, but we are required to move toward the establishment of the 1981 Act. And there's a couple options we have on the table. How fast do you wanna move? Do we wanna go after the 4 people on the financial director? Do we wanna establish a subcommittee? We need to kind of decide on, again, we went through this with the grievance committee, I was using that as an example. We asked each commissioner to come back and give us a name to work on. Have I missed anything?
So basically, we're gonna take this to October and bring back names for both committee, the 4.
We can, that is a
and then
way,
the 5.
that is a way. We can table it, we can pull it right back off the table,
Does anybody on this board want to be on the phone?
Well, like I, like I said,
Usually the big money makes a lot of people.
yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do this and be on this committee, there's no way that you cannot have somebody that has at least a college education.
You mean the subcommittee?
Yes.
I tend to agree that
The subcommittee or the seven?
Well,
the subcommittee.
the subcommittee, yeah,
I think they ought to have some kind of background.
They gotta have a
related
background.
deal. I mean, it would make no sense for me to be asking questions of a financial director when I don't know, what Sue Packard knows, whose figure I saw earlier. Let me, for example, I wouldn't know what to ask them. Does that make sense?
Again, the process of developing a compliance and 1981 Act begins.
So,
Let us out again.
I've not seen a subcommittee form. The financial management committee is set and responsible for hiring the director, establishing policy procedures for the department. They also establish compensation with the Grove County Commission. So, you gotta get a committee, where you can start the policy procedures for that department and then make a hire, as you said. I'm not saying you can't do a subcommittee, that's up to you as a body.
And that's what I said, I just made a suggestion, if you wanted some time, think about a subcommittee, think about the qualification, or we can just go right with the 4 people. Again,
Can we just table this until 2 weeks or so, like a little recess and come back in 2 weeks and discuss this?
well, that, as a matter of fact, we can make the decision in the next meeting in October. We can, again,
I'd like to hold off on this decision so we have more time to study, think about it.
But I think it's a great idea from the perspective, knowing we gotta come up with 4 people, 3 Band-Aids, you got 4 positions to deal with, absolutely crucial. This seven-member people who are driving something.
Right.
Most qualified person, set the qualifications, that all
Right.
that kind of stuff. We gotta make sure this done right, but those 7 people are crucial. So you certainly should be thinking of
Yep.
4 people in your mind, ability, time, desire, all these kind of things are trying your level best that when you put a name in the pot, be considered for those 4 positions.
and is there,
That the people absolutely that, are you determined then, meaning that, they're good to go. In your mind, what you've done is to put your name on the table, suggest.
and is there anything that I need to provide you with concerning what you need to be looking for? I could do that, I mean, like, an individual, all I've done is look at the CTAS guideline, read it, said I'd just like to slow the process down enough where everybody understands what we're looking at, what we're trying to form. And this is something we have not done. So we're walking into.
Uncharted waters.
Well, yeah, and there is different forms of this. There's the, of course, the 81 Act, 57 Act, there's charter systems, there's like 4 different, there's private acts. There's 4 different ways counties are, in the state are managed. And 1981 Act happens to be the one that the voters put in place. So I just wanna make sure we're all, as commissioners, and all the commissioners, y'all, understand what we're kinda up against. And we do have time, we don't have to make it, but you need to think about names to bring back. Again, we have 5, we don't have 4 positions on the financial committee. So that's 1 district. That we represent. It's just the way. So, y'all want to table this and bring it back up in the October meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
But, like I strongly advise that these people has got to have the knowledge to make the decisions. And, if they're gonna do the hiring and firing and all this stuff, I want the people that knows what's going on. We don't need a painter. We want somebody that's got the education.
Bankers, lawyers,
Right.
CPA.
Well, you're
county.
stretching with a lot of.
Stretching the law, you got
You
it.
know, I,
Volunteer a lot of things.
I think also, it's somebody, people who have the time, I don't know necessarily that it has to be somebody with all of the credentials, but people who have the time and the investment, who are willing to learn and put in the time that it takes to research. So, I went like, for instance, I went down and laid eyes on Bedford County, on the way that they do things, and you can learn a tremendous amount of information, by going down and really watching and looking and seeing the actual physical layout of the place and how much space is needed. And, talking to the people themselves and seeing what they do, seeing how they do purchase orders, seeing how it's all set out, and, talking to the individuals. So, I don't know that you have to have all the degrees, but I think you have to be willing to put in the amount of time that's necessary and the willingness to research and doing. And I think visiting facilities and places that are already doing it, I think you can learn a lot that way.
Are they under the 1981 Act? Are they, are
Bedford
they?
County, yeah, they have,
I didn't-
they have done it for 8 years. They have gotten 0 audit findings, and, they've done it tremendous.
What'd they tell you? Did they like it or not like it?
They love it, they love it.
I ain't found a single one that didn't love it.
Well, if you're gonna do it right, though, there is a tremendous amount of startup costs, so, that's the problem.
Okay, any other discussion concerning the 1981 Act? Now we're under, so we're gonna table the 1981 Act? Go
Yes.
back and put it off the table, okay? Another business. Open up for, I do have a couple things we need to discuss. You want me to lead, or do y'all have things?
You go ahead.
We don't know.
The first thing we got in front of us here is, I hope you have a copy of it. This, I do know that, is the interfund loan capital outlay. Have y'all got that document in front of you? This is a resolution for $200,000, not to exceed $200,000. It's for the convenience center equipment grant for 25,000 match, used oil grant for 19, a recycling measurement grant for 25, and then another 25,000 match. And we've been after this, capital outlay note to establish the opportunity to even do our end of the bargain for the grant. If you need to look to see where we're at, where I arrived at applying for that, if you wanna pull out your solid waste cash flow sheet. Yeah, go ahead.
This recycling management grant, gives us up to 25,000, that's not correct.
No. That's
That's for a set of scales.
that's the scale.
Yeah, but it would require 25 max. Oh, 25 and 25 and 50.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just misread.
Yeah. Just to look here at where we're at, you wanna pull out your cash flow analysis sheet, green one. Since solid waste is a concern of all of us, we'll start there. The green one.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Thank you.
I'll just pull. If you look here, I just kind of walk the dog on this a little bit. This is a cash flow sheet for solid waste account 116. This is a projection from 1 July 2018 to June 30, 2019. Is that true? Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? All right, now you can. All right, we're looking at the cash flow analysis sheet here for solid waste, which I have in front of us. We've been reworking this document to ensure that we can continue to operate the solid waste facility. And the receipts here, as you can see, we spent, I just want you to kind of go down here for cash payment purposes. We spent $71,334 in the month of July for solid waste. And then if you you look over the next column, and I don't know if yours will be updated, is that the next cash payment in August said $64,517, on that document, but I actually received a invoice from Middle Point landfill, and that's for $20,965.74. So the actual dollar amount we spent in solid waste for the month of August is $85,482.74.
What was that?
$85,482.74.
And primarily, what was the cost?
The cost was, 27 days. We traveled on average 3 times to Middle Point landfill at $300 per load. On average, we spent about 10 to 12 ton per trip. Our rate per tonnage was $33.85. Not counting small fees for environmental fuel recovery. But if you'll go down the cash flow sheet, you'll see the reason why we're in crisis mode is that we actually manage, or we want to manage, payments at $40,000 approximately. That's $39.5 all the way across.
That's how much we want to spend.
That's what we would like to keep our spending under that, and we've doubled it. So I'm not exactly sure, right here on the cash flow sheet, look at the cash payment column. Cash payment column. Again, and now these, if you wanna, and hopefully I'm not moving too fast. Cash receipts at the top, we received, these are hard numbers, $16,000 in the month of July. Tax revenue heavy. I don't know of any other receipts we received. $16,773 in August. And then, of course, in September, we took a transfer in the general fund of $100,000. And we're estimating, tax receipt at $29,800.
120.
Well, yeah, it'd be a total of $129,800 when you add the $100,000 transfer it up, yeah.
Put in perspective, last fiscal year, September, was actually $13,428
For cash receipt?
for cash.
Now,
Just-
take in
And
consideration,
these are just from today on, these are estimates and revenue.
So that they match the budget.
Right, so that they match. And then those are cash payments are estimates too, at $39.5. But I just wanted historically, we know that cash receipts for July and August were approximately $16,000.
what was the hauling fee?
The hauling fees, $300 per trip.
I mean, total for the month.
The 3 hauling fees add up to around $45,000.
For 3 months?
For that, no, you say 3 months or 1 month?
Well, 1 month.
One month was 45, around approximately three,
One month's cost,
Right.
$16,000.
16,000.
To take it to the landfill.
Correct.
Kind of stale, ain't it?
We're paying July and August and in August. That's why that's.
Okay, tell me if I'm wrong here. This, when you go to August, it's showing $64.54.
$6,454.
That's actually, should be a negative though, right there, shouldn't it? Because you've got another bill for $20,000.
Well, that's what we paid until September, so that bill won't.
Okay, so it'd be, okay.
Yeah.
That
It
makes
is, but it is,
It's gonna take out of that 96,754 though, won't it?
Correct.
Okay.
but this bill is due upon receipt.
Okay, for $20,965. Okay.
So my question is, you got $39.5 for 3 months, but then it changes, and you got January $29.5, February $93,177.
Those are estimates.
Just to keep it.
Those are
That's what,
estimates.
we'll have to take the trans back. In January?
They don't
When you
know.
understand the trans, the delta, the trans this year, we only $13,670. We got that. So that's approximately half what we got last year.
And donor cost goes generally in December.
Depends on the trash reduction.
Well, that's true.
So again, it goes with the fact is that we reached out to get a capital outlay note to set the conditions to either improve the facility and try to reduce costs as much as possible, over the next several months. And again, you get well, on the soft lines.
When are we paying back $100,000 transfer in?
General fund,
The January,
we don't have to.
okay, that's just.
Not a train, I start when it.
No, that's not a train. The 50.
Yeah, I understand, but
The commissioners actually voted to pay that back to the
Right.
general fund when it was transferred.
Which if again, if we can keep expenses down. Now, if we have months of 71,000, 64,000, we won't have, we'll be
In the hole.
We'll be in the hole.
Now, take in consideration right now, as we're working at solid waste, we are only taking household trash. We're not taking people that's going out and picking up at other people's houses. If they do, they gotta have a business license, gotta have business tags on their vehicle. If not, they have to go to the landfill.
Okay, Ron?
So we still accept the garbage money down.
Excuse me?
If we know that, we.
Well, but what I'm saying, so we don't have that. So we're turning them away. We're not accepting anything commercial other than household trash. It don't go in. We've started collecting cardboard again. We got a market for it. We're selling it. Now, we purchased another trailer. Hopefully we'll get another one to carry us on until June when our contract is up. And then after that, then we can go with competitive bids.
Our contract at Middle Point.
Right.
Our contract at Middle Point, we're contracted at Middle Point at the rate of $33.85 per ton will be up in June.
Which, by the way, is a fabulous rate.
Great rate.
Great.
what kind of trailer, old trailer?
Dry good trade.
Dry good trade. Freight boxes.
Freight box.
And what do we do with the other two?
Sold. They're gonna be through.
No, they're not sold.
Well, they're not, well, let me back up. Technically, they're not sold yet, but they've been taken to Ivy Bluff, south. It'll be up to us to say, yes, we're gonna sell them for south.
And what was the reason behind that?
They're junk.
Unsafe at any speed.
I just want to,
They're junk.
Unsafe at any speed.
Where they run across the license, the stickers and things even be on the road.
I mean, it ain't had a-
The way it got by was, I guess, because of the county solid waste sign on the side of it.
See, every trailer you have, they're supposed to have a federal DOT inspection every year. God bless us. It's never had. So, and it's gotta stay with that trailer. The trailers we're buying now, they're DOT inspected, they're 100% roadway to go, they're like brand new trailers. So,
And what did they cost?
3,500.
Open truck.
No, freight box,
Freight box.
freight box,
Solid.
just like it's down there right now,
Understand that,
freight box.
not the compact.
Nope,
No, no
48
compact.
foot.
no compact, we're compacting with the skid steer,
The 48 or 53?
48. Because see, you got a 37 feet between the dolly and the bumper of that trailer.
Wouldn't work.
No, well, yes, they can, but you have to move the dollies back to get you 37 feet, okay? But the 48, you're sitting right on the money because of the tipper. That's why you've got to have that number, 37 feet.
And not to throw anybody under the bus, we do have two resident experts here. We have Ms. Kim Ray, but we have Lisa Luck. We also have, of course, if y'all got any, what we did from an emergency management perspective is that, how do we improve the facility without throwing good money at a very bad product, an antiquated system, and trying to improve the system for the taxpayer as best we could. And that's essentially this snowball occurred starting the first. And, again, I'm thankful that I've had a lot of help and a lot of people that's got engaged, and a lot of people have, communicated this change. I know it's a drastic change, and that's why we reached out to the comptroller to try to work the capital outlay project, and we'll still continue to lay the foundation for a better facility in the future with pavement and concrete and some roll-off containers. But right now, for the next several months, we're gonna be very limited. We'll be basically back to a convenience center, and not a transfer station. And we can communicate that as well. Lisa, Tim, do y'all have anything? Y'all been monitoring our facility for a while. Y'all got any? Yeah. What?
Let them just share some of
Can
their,
they come up
their
and
years
just-
of knowledge with you.
Yeah, tell who you are, so everybody knows.
Come on up. So,
Yes, Ms. Love. Come on up, please.
Come on down.
Kim.
Go ahead.
The next contestant on.
The next contestant,
Yeah.
Hi, how are you? My name's Kim Rhea, I work with CTAS with Ben Rogers over here. I've been doing solid waste, consulting for the counties of Tennessee for about 20 years now. I've seen just about every system in the state of Tennessee, mainly on the eastern half, but we do travel and see a lot of different programs. I've worked in Cannon County over the last 5 or 6 years from time to time, looking at efficiencies and safety issues and things of that nature. You know, the way the dollars just don't add up for you all to make the capital improvements that you need to make in the current budget system. You have roughly $500,000. That's roughly, $33 or $34 per person in the county, maybe $100 per household that are spent for solid waste management. We just heard a quote for what the disposal cost is. It's $35 right there for disposal. So there's not enough money coming in to do infrastructure improvement with the solid waste system, and that's been sort of a chronic problem, of course. It's gonna take, pulling that Band-Aid off and making some changes to get it up to the standard that a lot of the counties in Tennessee have. We're here to help you however we can in that process. We can show you systems that work well, that are rural systems, that are primarily residentially focused, because that's the county's obligation, is to take care of its residents with respect to solid waste management. The businesses are another whole, wheelhouse to address. In a lot of cases, counties do take commercial waste, but they charge those commercial entities for that service. So you gotta, walk before you can fly, I guess, is one way to put it. Maybe what you have to do is get that residential service worked out and efficient and safe and paid for for the long haul, so you can make those changes to the equipment and so on, and then start to look at some of the other elements of that. Is there a specific questions from you all for us at this point, or we're here
You
for the
said
long
something,
haul?
you said something to the effect of like when we pull the Band-Aid off, how much?
Well, I think that what I'm understanding is there's a short-term solution here to move waste in trailers that do not do compaction. Anybody in the solid waste field will say the answer to efficiency is compaction. So 8 to 10 tons on a transfer trailer is not a lot of waste compacted, but it might be better than these open-top trailers. But given, if you had a well-running transfer trailer, you might be getting 20 tons on that instead. You get a stationary compactor, you might get 10 tons on that too.
How much are we looking at to get this thing where it needs to be? Cost? Just a
Right.
ballpark.
I think you need, in excess of Well, we've looked at this a few times. You need, at least to get going with compactors, you know, you're looking at probably $100,000 to get those compactors set up. You'll negotiate again some sort of disposal fee. It may be that, a contractor will give you a better hauling rate, so anywhere from 100 to 500,000 probably. I mean, it's just gonna depend on what system you pick and over what time frame. What we've recommended on the front end is to start to work on that residential piece with stationary compactors and a roll-off truck to pull those over to Middle Point. You've got the flexibility then to go with another vendor at some point in time if Middle Point landfill becomes unavailable as an option.
The minimum starting out 100,000.
100,000 gets your compactors in, your three-phase power, in particular with the grants that Lisa's helped you all acquire for, you know, the assistance through the state of Tennessee. There might be other options through USDA rural on trucks or things like that you could look at. So, I'm saying 100 in addition to maybe what the state's doing here. Yep.
That 100 comes from that grant that's been kind of setting idle, right?
And it's specific to three different parts. There's three different parts of the grant, three different functions. That's including the scale, it's including some prep work, it's very specific on what you can, and I'm talking ground prep work. I mean, we gotta get in and do, you know, some smoothing out of some land, we gotta take some, you know, weeding down, some brush down, we gotta kind of figure out. There was previously a lot of work done to lay out a future outlay of the solid waste facility, which is actually a pretty good solution for the future. But we're right now in such an emergency management mode, that we had to strip out the transfer station, which we won't be able to provide a transfer station, and may not be able to come back to a transfer station for a while, and that's the only problem we have. We had a transfer station here without having a transfer station. We can call it what it is, it's really just a convenience center. That's all it is. And whenever you have a compactor and you have the ability to move it to another location, and you have the ability to transfer or at least mitigate the cost or even metric the cost of what, you know, this is how much this costs to move it. And we just don't have any way to do that. And that's kind of why we went in and went to emergency management mode and said, well, we gotta at least get residential trash out of here. And that's, you know, and I know that that's put a cramp on a lot of people, and I think for the, and that's where we're at. We're really at residential trash.
And that is the obligation, the one obligation the state requires every county to do is to have a location for residents to take solid waste, to be disposed of. So that's one of the primary functions of the county with respect to a service.
So is the county obligated in any way legally to take commercial waste?
No.
No, the county is not obligated to do that. The county is obligated, if you had a county that had absolutely zero other options for commercial waste, not a single hauler in this county that you could call, then it might be something that you would want to consider making that available to those folks.
You're trying to say that if we were so remote,
Yes.
and we had no ability to move, then we not want to, not have to.
Yeah.
But since we are centrally located and we have good roads and
Right.
access.
And private haulers in the area. Now, again, it's back, I understand the issue of, you know, commercial folks pay taxes as well, but, you know, what almost, I'm gonna say, every system I've seen that is functioning as a transfer station has a set of scales set up, and a commercial entity, comes over those scales and pays a tipping fee for doing that.
Can I stop you right there? That in no way implies that we're going to charge the residents any kind of money to throw their garbage away. Is that correct?
That, I'm
Yeah,
I'm not saying that's
Yeah,
where you
I
have to
know,
go.
But
Yeah.
that's been floating around,
Yeah.
that we're gonna charge 11 cents a pound, and that is total enforcement here.
Yeah, and what you're doing right now is it looks like roughly $33 a person across the county to dispose of waste. A person, the average person generates a ton of waste a year. So that $33, in essence, pays for that disposal if you have a $33, but what it doesn't pay for is any of the infrastructure. So you gotta come up with the infrastructure somewhere.
Can I ask you one more question? Are we under any legal obligation to take construction waste?
No, you're not.
So if I tear down my building and I wanna take it up to my dump and dump it, and I get turned away, that's just too bad for me, correct?
The best way to do it would be to, point them to Middle Point landfill or whatever the closest, construction and demolition landfill is in the area.
I do know that
Yeah.
DeKalb County works with another private entity, I believe, to build a transfer station up here to about $1 million. Is that what?
That's probably about the right amount for building that.
So a transfer station that we don't really have the ability to be a transfer station is something that we'd have to kind of earmark for the future to come, and that's kind of the price tag of, costs you about $1 million.
The system that you all have that is open air like that would no longer fly with TDEC because it has to be undercover now. You have to have a tipping floor that's concrete and you can't have that sort of hopper system. You all are grandfathered in the hopper system as long as it's, functioning, I suppose, but the state would not let you build a system like that again on another location. So if you were to buy or build a bona fide transfer station for all of Cannon County and its commercial residents, you're looking in excess of $1 million to do that. Now, you could probably get it down a little bit if you went really low end and you had, used backhoes and compactors and things of that nature. But that's still, that's the time when you put a scale in and you say, okay, this is the tip fee. Residents, you go over this way, commercial folks, you go over the scales, and this is what you pay.
May I ask?
Yes,
you-
please,
okay,
please.
Thank you very much. Kim, St. Louis Pet Knox.
I remember, yes.
Good to see you again, and thank you so much for being here. I've been thinking a lot about this since our city council meeting on Tuesday night, and Mr. Bush kindly attended, and we learned then that it would just only be household, solid waste. My concern, and if you have a remedy, or if you know of other counties that have remedies for this, what about our schools? What about our health department? What about our ambulance service, our Board of Education building? What about those entities, and how can we handle, because that's not household trash.
Right, well, in terms of from an environmental definition, it's municipal solid waste.
Okay,
So in essence, what most counties do with their school systems and their facilities is they are either taking the Republic bill and they're going through and they're saying that dumpster was at Cole Elementary and it was $67 to dump, and then they're passing that bill on to the school system to pay for. That's the way some counties do it. Now, the school systems have a lot on their plate, so they don't necessarily want to go, and check if this dumpster is halfway full or quarter full. But it does start to get the attention of, let's make it an efficient system. Let's dump that trailer once, or that 6-yard container once a week instead of 3 times a week, or let's call when it's full and only, have home bills related to that. That's where also other counties may have a solid waste director position, much like you've been talking about a finance director. Solid waste director that's their wheelhouse, to gain that efficiency by looking at all of those things and some of the community business.
And if I understand, County Executive Brent.
Yes, ma'am, I'm just,
If I understand, part of that grant, 19,000, I think, is, allotted, is it allotted toward education, recycling? It's not part of that grant?
It is, it's to establish used oil collection
And, I've got it here, and I can read off exactly what is covered under that. And, you know, well, I'm Lisa Luck, and I've been working with Cannon County now for 3.5 years. I work for the Upper Cumberland Development District. And so I've kind of been working with Thea with the recycling and doing the annual progress reports. And it has greatly concerned me that there was not a good way to manage the waste in Cannon County because the equipment was so old, and I really feared for the residents as far as backing up. I know if I was a Cannon County resident backing up to that compactor every day, it could be a disaster. And so that is one of the reasons we wrote the grant. At the time we wrote the grant, Mr. Gannon wanted to make sure that the commercial haulers still had somewhere to bring their waste. And that's why we wrote the scale in there, so that you could start making money to cover those costs, since you're not required to cover the cost for the solid waste haulers. And so, I don't know if you want to talk to the state, or if you still wanna get the scales. If you don't get the scales at this point, you'll be penalized for 2 years and not qualify for any more grants. And I feel like the $100,000 convenience center grant is such a good opportunity for y'all to start from scratch, because that's where you're at. You don't have any working equipment. And so to make it a safe place so your residents can bring their waste in and just start from the bottom up and build something, but use the grant money to kind of as seed money. And so I hope that Kim has had some great designs, simple designs that would make it easy for the residents to dispose of their waste. And because so many people have been, they have used this system for a long time, it's always hard to change systems and say, you know what, we can't provide this service anymore because we don't have any money. And I think it's okay to start from the beginning and just tell people this is the way it has to be until we can figure out what to do and provide more services. So just to focus on the bare bones of what Kim has designed and on what is listed in the grants, as far as giving you a head start on getting your convenience center working operationally.
And back to just the idea of the oil grant, you know, that may seem like that's tied in with something that's not the necessity of the moment, but the state has a lot of money in that fund for oil management. So what they're doing is allowing you to, you know, pour concrete that, you know, would host or house a oil recycling location, but you could also have a place for cover for other materials that didn't need to be out. So there's some flexibility with the oil money that helps a little bit in terms of the remaining infrastructure part, so.
And plus, here is what the used oil, one of the reasons we applied for the used oil is because there's $5,000 that you can pay to a contractor. And to install the used oil, it's not gonna take $5,000, so that contractor could also be utilized in working as far as setting up the convenience center. We did ask for a collection tank and spill pan. We asked for a canopy to go over it, and a concrete pad and filter crusher, and we got $1,500 for outreach and education, which is gonna be important. You need that for your residents.
That's what I was asking.
Yes, to teach them what they're gonna do and how they're gonna do it. And I think just to come up with a good plan and be firm about it, get it in the newspaper, get it in a brochure, and just spell it out exactly what your county needs to do to recover and get back on the feet, and to encourage people to recycle. Because if people will recycle and sort their trash, it's gonna make the expenses less for the county. And a lot of people fight about the recycling. Oh, I'm not gonna do it, I'm not gonna do it. Well, it brings revenue to the county, especially the cardboard. That's the highest paying item right now. And to just teach people about waste management so they understand what is their part, what they can do to improve the whole system too. Because, you know, waste management, we're all in this together, and a county can't be expected, the commissioner to, you know, to manage everything. Everybody has to participate in getting this done. And then, let's see, the last amount of money was for, antifreeze, storage tanks, so you can collect antifreeze too. And this canopy is a good place to store your electronics, so you could collect electronics and keep that out of your waste. There's so many things that you can not put in the garbage. And if you could set up a good system so that people are pulling, the things out that can be pulled out, you will really reduce the amount of tonnage that you are taking to the landfill, and that'll reduce your costs.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we kind of broke a point here.
One of my questions is, if we went back to commercial and the scales, what would be the going rate to charge the commercial people for their?
That's a good question. It varies, you would want the ability to set that based on what your contract is for disposal. So I'm gonna give for instance, Claiborne County, which is not real close to you all, but they have a transfer system, and they have they're paying less than you all at the landfill. They're paying high 20s or maybe low 30s, but then when a commercial entity drives over the scale, it's like 42 or 3 or something like that, which covers the county's cost for handling their materials. So they're not making lots of money on it, but they're covering the cost on it.
I'd rather cover the cost is to have it done on our creeks and on our back roads and some of that. If we, I mean, when we get the scales, we at least can take it and charge it.
That's a good point.
Right. But that, you're saying we're not gonna get a compact right now?
I don't see.
That's in the grant, that's one of the.
It is.
But it's a
part of the
different,
grant.
it's not, but make sure it's not the same type of contract with compact.
That's what you had, right.
You said, right?
Yeah, no, it is a much lesser compactor, that would be a slow but beginning start. You can apply for another convenience center grant, as it comes out to add to it. So if you can just start slowly and have, that way you're hauling a compacted load instead of hauling the open tops like what Kim was saying. So, no, it's a very basic, $100,000. We try to ask for the bare bones of what would give you a start, so at least you would have a way to manage the residential, trash that's coming in.
The other option, well, this is just a thought too with respect to the 6-month out window. You know, say the grant allows for the concrete pouring and a couple of nice stationary compactors to go in. You know, you still have a problem of hauling those compactors to a landfill. That's the kind of service that can be bid out, and there would be a lot of folks who would be interested in bidding that work for you. So you could, in essence, get out of the hauling business with that system, because it's a truck, a very universal truck that picks up those compactors. It doesn't take an 18-wheeler, it's a roll-off truck, and it just would make it, your flexibility would increase with that system. It could be the county decides to haul, buys a truck and self-hauls, or it could be they contract that out. The RFP process will reveal a lot. That's your time and your place to say exactly what you want, and we can help you all write that RFP for what you want. And it doesn't have to be the low cost, it has to be the best system for Cannon County, and that's what you go with. So we're here for you to help with that. We've written RFPs, since I guess the time CTES started doing work. So we have a bunch of boilerplates, and we can work with you to get that document in place that gives you the best bang for your buck, and that's the way to push that forward, is to do those deals in a way that you have multiple people bidding for that work.
Did y'all get these in email today?
No.
I think I sent it to you.
I don't know who sent this, but I really appreciate it. I've been sitting on this commission starting my 9th year, and this is the first time I've gotten anything other than that sheet that's a dangler. It explains what the grant is and what it will buy. And whoever sent this, thank you. Somebody said they wanted to hear more yeses. Right here is why you got a lot of no's from me, because I didn't know what I was voting on.
I've been hearing $33.85 a ton for garbage. Now that is for the garbage only. You've got a $10 environmental fee on there. And then you got a 7.2% fuel recovery fee per ton. So we're at $47.03
For Middle Point.
for Middle Point. At $33.58 is just for the trash. $47.03 per ton. That's all fees and taxes.
And the fuel rate can adjust monthly.
Yeah, in the full rate.
So we're $14. I have another question. Lisa, do you know when there'll be another grant available for us to apply for?
The grants come out every single year, and, I'm not sure which grants come out next year, but, I can look on the calendar and send you a copy of what TDEC has on there that'll be coming up. One really good grant is a waste, reduction grant, and that might be something that could help, with the convenience center too, is the waste reduction grant. Because then you'll be, minimizing the waste, so we can look at that. But there are convenience center grants that come out, and I think they come out every 2 years, but I'm not sure, sometimes they vary that. And, one more thing that I was gonna mention to you, I've worked with another county, and the thing that they were considering is not being in the, solid waste business. They were just gonna let, somebody else bid on it and bid the whole thing out. I know, one of the companies, they're willing to provide compactors, hauling, they'll do the whole thing as long as you are willing to, to pay, and that way all you have to do is have a contract and you'll know exactly what they do. And then the other option for you as far as getting more revenue in is to partner with the city. Maybe the city would be the one that would want to work on the transfer station and pay a fee to Cannon County for using that transfer station. So there's, ways that you can pull revenue in, or you can just totally disconnect from, the whole garbage business, or you can use those grants that you got and put in some infrastructure so that you have waste management for, years to come.
Well, we do have a contract with Middle Point until June of next year. And of course, and I can't verify this, but I've been told that tonnage is gonna go up, the cost is gonna go up if we stay. And of course, they're on a 5 to 7 year timeline on changing, so.
Right.
I do this, we know this is a problem. I hope anybody else got any other questions. Yes, please, go ahead.
Lisa, or Kim, I just, what's been brought up a couple times is, people are fearful about, okay, if we change things, then we're gonna be finding, people going off and dumping in haulers, or, do you have it, in your past and working with other counties, do you have any other ideas on how we might, prevent something like this, or?
I think if you have an officer, that is your litter officer, and have people make reports and bring people's attention, to it, I think that is all helpful. Some, places people dump on a regular basis, and you could put cameras up in those places, and the litter grant, that every county gets every year can help pay for that. We've had a lot of illegal dumps in, Putnam County, and the litter grant has helped clean those up. And then Bridgestone, they will help clean up too. And of course, you don't want people to dump, but if you make there's already a law against illegal dumping. So if you just enforce the law, and if you actually go after the people that are doing the illegal dumping, then you can, kind of get a better handle on it. But if there's no enforcement, then you might as well forget it, because people are just gonna continue dumping.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because today, the sheriff's department and the wildlife officer, they were contacted on Jimtown Road. They took pictures, and they got information that led or leading to these people that dumped, and they will be prosecuted. So, if a person wants to take a chance on $500 plus court costs.
Lisa, do you know what it is Well, if,
fines out here.
yeah, if it's a commercial company that's dumping, you know, business, then the fines are a minimum of $3,000, but they can actually do jail time. But more importantly, they can be required to clean it up. And if it's just, a truck that's, not tarped, that's $500. If you throw something out your window, that's $50.
Okay.
And actually, this is kind of cool for the police officers to know that whatever fines they assess on businesses or individuals, they get to keep in the county. You're not sending that to the state. You can use that to offer rewards. You can use it to hire additional help, to buy cameras. It is to be used in your county to enforce the litter law.
Okay. So, basically then too, we could get citizens out there too to be helping if they're seeing any of this as well.
Yes, to make reports, because it is a problem, and because you are thinking about changing things, people get mad and they just wanna, be spiteful, but, not everybody in a county litters, there's only a few, maybe 8, 10, 12%. And so, once you get a handle on that, and people see that they are being prosecuted for littering, then that makes a difference.
Do you mind if I make a couple comments?
Yeah, okay, please.
Just while we're still on litter, any individual, if you saw the car in front of you threw something out, you could grab the tag and report it to the state. There's a phone number to do that. And as far as our judge has issued some either financial costs or cleanup time. It just needs to be working together and letting people know it's going to really happen and to help do the right thing. The county executive has a major job, especially now being brand new at all of this, but he's taken on 2 full-time jobs because the solid waste director, even if it's a small community, it's still all the problems. And it's still a lot of time on the phone and time talking with experts. All the answers are out there. A lot has been enforced for 25 years, and people like Kim and Lisa, they're there to help. That's the way they keep their jobs, and they do a great job. So there's help there. And so the more knowledgeable everybody is, I think it's really tough on the employees that work the convenience center. You don't want anybody to be driving up that doesn't have a Cannon County tag. And they don't have enough time or energy or kung fu abilities to deal with that. So what is out there is options, a way to ID the vehicle that comes in with their trash, or several other ways of knowing that garbage really does belong to Cannon County and needs to be handled. There's just a lot to learn and a lot to sort out, and I commend you all for having to hit the road running, but.
Well, our biggest problem was everything was let go and not managed. Since we've been, Mr. Mahaffey and I and Ms. Floyd have been working down there, we started educating people, the ones that belong and don't belong. And it's gonna hurt, but it's gotta be done. And we're not gonna take trash from another county, and unless they've got that county sticker on their tag, I don't care if it's a Rutherford tag or a Warren County tag, as long as they've got that sticker on their tag, we ain't got a problem. They don't have a sticker, they can't get in.
Or they may have a water bill of their grandmother that lives.
No,
there.
ma'am.
Well,
No, ma'am.
someone has to decide something that's fair.
That's fair.
Mr. Mahaffey,
No, Lisa and Kim, thank y'all so much for coming and being, we're really indebted to y'all. We know we got great resources to be able to lean on y'all gonna help us guide us down the right path on these things to make the right decisions. But in the current situation that we're in, and Brent's done an excellent job of laying that out for everyone who's here tonight, I appreciate everybody, all for being here, for showing your concern and trying to move forward. But, the short term that we find ourselves in, being a small county has really limited us in what resources we can turn to from a vendor standpoint, of their interest in even touching us. Just put that in perspective, just to get a hauler to the trailers to pull them down there, Co-op has done more of that than anybody. They literally stepped up and allowed their tractor drivers to bring their rig up here, hook our trailers, to drag them down there to Milton. Because we're small, we got a contract with Republic down there. Both people are showing interest from a vendor standpoint, don't wanna deal with that midpoint down. And, until we get to the end of June, we're in this mode we're in now, and it's sort of a hybrid, day-to-day, week-to-week survival, because trash don't stop. My goodness, that's one thing that's been, burned in the brain, that trash is running out your ears, and it don't stop. And when you close the gates up there, because the one trailer we have is full, which normally, following a weekend holiday or being closed on Wednesday, by 3 o'clock, that one trailer is full. And of course, the means by which it's being packed is throwing the bags in there and using a skidder to push it back as best you can, and yes, it's averaging about 10 tons, which isn't bad, but it sure don't match 20, does it? So we are now got one trailer and maybe, fingers crossed, but this other trailer from Nashville, that Co-op is willing to go to Nashville and pull up here for us and give us two, which means we'll have one to take to midpoint and one set there to be filled. But as of this moment, folks, we do not have a dedicated person or business identified to consistently pull those down there. But we'll get there. We're gonna have one to keep that gates open, to meet the needs of our obligations to the citizens of Santa County. But I just need you to know that there's no easy solution until we can think in long term. People that's interested in us, they want long-term contracts. They want to get fixed for their business so they can figure out how to make money on us, with us, win-win situation. And because things are small, very few people are stepping up to the plate to give us the time of day. We're at that.
So just to be clear on my end, we're not accepting any commercial waste, we're not accepting any construction waste.
No.
If you've got a system where you go around and you haul a trailer and you pick up some
No.
residents, garbage around the county.
No.
We're not accepting that.
We turned away our own litter control guys, and I got a bill from this one on them, because I don't have the ability to take stuff that's dumped out over this county. They don't do it on good pile, like more tires and odds and ends. We're just taking.
And see,
household
they had
trash.
furniture,
They had furniture.
that was part of that Gymtown mess, so they had to take it directly to the landfill.
Yeah. We're residential.
We are residential only.
Okay.
We do cardboard,
Bag residential.
bag,
And we're
residential.
and again, Corey, we're flying a plane and trying to build it at the same time, and that's why we have to stop this thing and ground it.
Oh, I agree.
And try to figure out, like I said, we got a lot of prep work, groundwork, we still got some communication, and like I said, I'm so thankful for, the help from, the experts to kind of come in here and give us a shot at it. Because still, we got a lot of green to get from here today.
So what are we doing on this resolution?
Brett, can I ask a question of Theo?
Please.
Theo, when you were talking to Jim just now about a water bill or something, were you talking about maybe somebody who lives in another county coming in and is helping haul a trash out for a grandparent or
Right.
somebody who doesn't have a vehicle
Right,
that lives in our county?
right.
It's still our county trash, so
It is.
they got a break crew,
what,
whoever, I mean, you know, if they got a grandmother that's got a car or whatever.
they may not have a car.
Karen, you've identified a problem. It's a
But
problem.
the problem with that is if you let this guy do it, you have to let everybody.
Exactly.
You never
They just,
solve the
we've just
problem.
gotta be consistent on
She
that
was
process.
saying though, if you bring a water bill or a light bill from that person,
Well, that'll be up to what you all,
but I think it's up to the whole commission, it's not up to one or two people
True,
here.
oh,
I think-
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. If the commission here, and that's why I give you the budget. We can do anything, I'll execute. This is our limitation. that's the
The
number.
thing is, though.
Yes, go
Can
ahead.
I-
Oh, excuse me, I think another, I know we broke.
I know what Karen's talking about, because we got done that way in Wilson County. We had to borrow, when my grandparent died, we cleaned out their place, and in Watertown, if you didn't have a Wilson County sticker on your truck, you didn't dump. It didn't matter where it was coming from or anything. We had to borrow my other granddad's truck to haul off to the dump in Watertown, because Wilson County will not. They don't care what you're bringing. If you don't have a Wilson County sticker, they will not take it.
And I think.
Same with coffee and.
I don't know of any other way.
Coffee County, Warren County, everybody's there.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, Bill?
Here's the deal, you can't limit it to your car tax. Most everybody in here buys cars out of this county. And when they buy them, most of the time where you buy your car from, they tag it in that county. I got a truck tagged in Coffee County.
You didn't hear me.
Not true.
Not true.
I said wheel tag sticker. I don't care where the tag come from,
Okay.
they have to buy the county
Well, I
wheel
agree
tag
with that.
sticker.
Yeah, that's wheel tax sticker. Yeah. But if you, here's the deal too, if you own property in this county, okay, and you don't live here, but you own property here, you ain't gonna have your wheel tax sticker here. But if you got.
Let me put it to you like this.
Comes off your property, you're allowed to risk, right?
Well, Bill, see, the thing about it is, that's like me, I own property in Franklin County.
Yeah.
And then I had somebody to make a remark about me running Franklin County tags and dumping trash. But what they didn't see was my county sticker,
Wheel tax sticker, yes.
right? Now, I take trash to Franklin County,
Yeah,
where me and my wife have a house.
sure.
I haul my trash here and I take it here. You'd be surprised today how many, probably, I don't know how many bought their stickers today, or they just went on about their business. We don't care where the tag comes from, as long as they got that sticker.
Okay.
But you said they let you dump in Franklin County, do you have a
Because they got a
Franklin
Franklin
County
tags. They don't have a sticker.
sticker? They don't have a sticker?
They got,
Yeah, but
I
I
pay
know
my
a guy
tags.
who owns property in Cannon County, lives in Florida, but he comes up here and stays maybe a week at a time,
Mhm.
wants to bring his trash to the dump. So what's he do?
Buy a sticker,
Bar truck.
or borrow a truck.
Buy a sticker to dump trash 3 or 4 times a year?
You know, but anyway,
Let's move to the, resolution number 21810 in order to move forward you've got it in front of you. Any other questions concerning the resolution?
This is to borrow $200,000 out of education debt service fund and put this.
Now, this is a capital outlay. We're not borrowing anything from education debt service. This is borrowing money to begin the process, starting, working ground prep, and, all the other.
Okay, all right, I'm with you, I'm sorry.
This month is coming from money that's been set aside already from.
I thought we were, again, yeah, because I've had some meetings. Let's go ahead and let's go through the read, make sure we read. Pay the grant, we're trying to pay the grant, and we want to pay the grant.
And we need, what, $50,000, 55, 52?
No, we done voted to approve the match some months ago. The purchase commission did. I tried to find it this time.
I'm with you.
Even though we'll call it on.
Comptroller approved this.
Grant shows up, put the money back. We've already set the budget for
We're back to where we were last. Ron, just make sure that while I'm showing now, don't review the cash flow sheets, go to the cash flow sheets.
I'll make a motion to approve this resolution.
I second the motion.
Call the vote, please.
Approve this resolution.
Yes.
Resolution number 2018-10.
Russell Reed,
Yes.
Corey Davenport,
Yes.
Karen Ashford,
Yes.
Jim Bush,
Yes.
Greg Mitchell,
Yes.
Brent Brandon,
Yes.
Randy Gammon,
I know I'm new here, and I remember this being discussed, it's the only reason I'm gonna vote yes, but, in the future, I'm kinda like one of the former board members that was here. I'd like to have these things a lot earlier than walking in here tonight, and then it'll be covered in other business. Because other business kinda, there's a spot where things kinda get real foggy, but yes, and I understand.
Kim Davenport,
I would still like to again point out that I would still like to have a budget committee that things like this run through. But right now, we are in emergency operating mode, so, yes.
Ronnie Mack,
Yes.
The next thing I have under other business is I had an interview with a company, you should have it under, called Barrett Group. I know that I took over on the first, and I have tried to email y'all as much as possible, and I know email is not the preferred method, but, the Barrett Group is an organization that comes in and reviews, all your functions and basically coding between the state of Tennessee, the city of Woodbury, and other counties, and they offer, at about, you gotta come in, and is everybody seeing, everybody reading? Yes. Are y'all familiar with the Barrett Group? Have y'all heard of the Barrett Group?
Yes.
Anybody know? No? And we don't have to vote on this tonight, but what it does for us, it allows you to review to make sure we're getting all our revenues in. And I don't like to use the term audit, but it is a review of the functions of government in our county, and gives us a second set of eyes. They receive a 50% recoup of last year's money, and they don't receive anything for future money.
So in other words, she finds $50,000, she gets $25,000.
Last year, we get all the rest. It's all everything in the past, pretty much how it works. Again, we don't have to vote on this, you can table this if you want more time. I've met with the company this past week, I think I met with them on, it was Labor Day. We kinda hit the ground running. It is a service they provide, they are trying to, again, they're a private company. Other counties have done it, and, as I talked to, Donna, who runs it, they found as little as $40, and they found as much as $150,000. Again, though, they get the half of last year, whatever they found. If you're, the train is, moves pretty good, it just allows, they have to have access to trustees, and I don't like to use the term audit, but it is a mini, type audit. Mostly revenue generated, not so much expense, but mostly looking at our, beyond the discuss it. That's what I can understand.
Why don't the ones who are not familiar with them, why don't we just go ahead and put it on the next meeting?
Sure. They do have, we do have time with that. I just wanted you to be introduced to it.
This is Donna Barrett from Barrett.
Barrett.
They own Outpost Armory in Murfreesboro.
She was a former, state legislature, member. Again, it's just a service that they offer, and, it's been brought to the, to me, to my attention. I give it to y'all as an opportunity to make sure we're kind of running on all cylinders.
Well, I know,
Absolutely.
I know that you don't like the word audit, but this group here, they do good work in all of their accounting practices and what they find, and they can dig up stuff that if something's wrong. But we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah. They don't like to use the
Well,
audit,
next
but it's a
month.
review.
So are we tabling
It's, again, I put it out there, if y'all want to table it. We have tabled a few things tonight just to review, and that's all I have under other business.
I have something.
Okay, go ahead. No,
Before we close to it.
no, okay, oh, she has something, I got, you got something? Okay, all right. Go ahead, Lane, I'm gonna let you have it.
Whenever I met with the budget committee back before I was elected clerk, we had estimated about $20,000 to turn over in excess fees to the county at the end of August. Turns out we have $26,145.28 that we turned over today to the trustee. What I would like to ask you all is, maybe for just a little bit of that to pay so that I can have 2 full-time instead of 1 full-time, 1 part-time. Just whatever, an average of what everybody else pays their full-time is all I'm asking for. But it's just really hard to run our office with only 1 employee, 1 full-time employee, because, I mean, even with, you can't even count your drawer out unless somebody else has to count it too. It's really hard to run with just 1 full-time. And so, I'm not asking for a lot extra, just a little bit to make up for that, instead of a part-time to be a full-time.
How much were you getting for a part-time?
Well, the total, it was cut from last year, $36,399.43. What was in our budget for this year was $46,700. So that was leaving me with like, I mean, that was leaving me 1 full-time, 1 part-time. If I had like $5,000, I could do 2 full-times and pay them an average of what everyone else makes in the courthouse.
What is the average?
Like around 26,000.
Is that for new employees?
Or that's for any employee.
Well, what's been done in the past, instead of starting them out at a lower pay when you hire somebody, they've always went to the top scale instead of having a step procedure. And so if you bring somebody new in, they were automatically getting top pay whether they knew anything or not.
Well, now our office, they're not getting top pay.
So-
No, it is sorry. I mean, that's where a lot, I don't know.
Can I ask you this question?
It's a really busy office, and I know that people think that we're just having a big time all the time, but we're not, okay?
As far as money goes, we budget whatever our department makes, but we don't tell the department head how much money to pay that employee. We cannot legally do
No,
that.
you can't. You just approve the total amount for that salary line item, and they decide as official who gets paid for it.
Correct, so if we decided that we wanted a pay scale, we could not create a pay scale all we could do is create a budget, a set budget amount. For example, if somebody comes in every 4 years, we say that they're gonna get budgeted this amount if they're a new employee, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you can create a pay scale
Based on the budget.
by position title but the pay scale is just a guide. So it's not TCA related, it's not something the official has to go by. The official can come back and ask the county commission for more money, and they can give it to whoever they want to, and it can be above or below the pay scale.
But the reason people come in at that same salary is because we give them that amount in the budget, and they're allowed to give them whatever they want. I mean, if we give
There's
you,
not many people that's gonna work for nothing.
well, I agree, I'm just
I'll tell
saying,
you that.
if we give you $50,000, you could do 25 and 25 if you wanted to, or you could do 30 and 20. And there's nothing we
Well,
can do
and
about
two,
that.
in our office, like, whenever you deal with money and you have, when you have segregation of duties, then you have to like, one person has their drawer, and then the other person, like, if it's
If you
just
have 6
me.
things and you're gonna go to my side, then one can help me do mine. I gotta wait on you for 6 times, okay? And the other people just have to stand there.
But if there's only 2 of us, then, like, I have a drawer, and then my employee has a drawer, then when I count my drawer out, then she has to also count my drawer out, because she has to verify that, my drawer's correct, and then vice versa with hers, before I ever get to the checking up part at the end of the day. That's,
Could you write this up in like a form of a letter of agreement, put it in writing and present it to me, and then I can present it to the commission instead of just kind of thinking about it?
yeah, I really, it's okay, like, we don't have to vote on it tonight, I just wanted you to, like, think about it. Listen, I invite each and every one of you to come, sit in our office, see what we do, because Cynthia is retiring, and I am gonna be trying to, like, hire someone, and I kinda don't know, if I can hire someone full-time or part-time. So that's just, but, it's just something,
Yes, Kim.
I would still like to form a budget committee and refer this to the
Yes.
budget committee.
Yeah, but the budget committee's not gonna be formed until next month.
I mean, that was, the plan was, form the committees in October. I got it, maybe should have done it tonight, but, just run out of runway. Committees are a good thing.
Since we're on other business, there's some things that need to be, looked at. First off, when the committees are met, we need to get the insurance committee back together to overlook the health insurance for the county employees. Also, the other insurances as far as our buildings, cars, all the structures, we need to look, take bids on all. Then, we need to take bids on our phone systems. I just seen
$2,000 per person or per office.
well,
We spend $75,000 a year.
of course, if you're like some, that's got 5 TVs and you got over $1,000 phone bill.
Communications.
Communication,
2 weeks in the quarter.
no,
our communication's 1100.
Yeah, 5 TVs.
yeah, $1,000 bill.
And he's already looked at some cost saving measures in his defense on some lines and some. So Jay, you can verify we went over some things. Some expense, again, and this is some of the work we need to work within the committee instead of out here.
But all this stuff needs to be looked at because we need to take bids on all of our services. Because we're paying way too much. DTC's eating our lunch. Insurance, as far as coverage for the employees, they're paying way too much. And it ain't right. We need to get out here and make sure that the county employees are taken care of without having to spend this extra bunch of money. And, that's things we got to do for these people.
Okay, I wanted to just ask one other question here. Before you
missed.
Oh, you forgot to have, oh,
County,
okay.
county general budget amendment
Go
here.
for it.
Just be correct.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In front of you, pull out your, yeah, overlook this. County general budget amendment. Here, part-time employee, 5,500, employee insurance, 2303 for fund balance, transfer back, 7803. Again, we were over here in your budget, you see on page 13 of your budget, that's where the correction. What's that?
Some of us don't know it.
Again, you wanna. We can, yeah, I mean, we can table this issue too, and just bring it to your attention, we got a lot of issues tonight. If you're not comfortable with it, that's fine, I'll try to get as much out to you in email as possible as it arrives. But anything else I missed in the past?
Yeah, there's one other thing here, there's circuit court clerk, their help, they're not gonna have enough to pay out the year for full-time employees, we need to see something about that at the next meeting. Mr. Peanut's not here, is he yet?
Downstairs working.
Downstairs working. She got some employees that gonna wind up having to go part-time.
What else, Kim? I mean, Janine?
Okay, so, the last time we were, I observed a vote at the last commission meeting. There was a discussion about whether Ms. Karen could vote, or I guess it was Adam that was here, and I figured, you know what, it would really just be nice to have clarity since, Ben is here, so we can go forward and not have anybody getting stressed out about what the rules are, so, Ben, can you tell us what the rules are, just for conflict of interest with any kind of voting or anything along those lines?
As far as voting goes.
If anyone, like Corey has, his wife, spouse works for the courthouse and Miss Karen works for, yeah, so, can you just clarify that and how the budget would be split out, whatever?
The conflict starts in budget committee. So if you, as a commissioner, if you have a spouse that works for the county, and there's a motion that comes before the budget committee to give that spouse a raise in that fund, you have to abstain from voting. That abstention would reduce the membership of the committee, so, you change your majority vote. If you vote on the budget as a whole in commission, you do not have to abstain. You can vote on the budget as a whole, you can vote on the tax levy. If you divide out the budgets, individually, general fund, schools, highway, solid waste, then you would abstain when it comes to that fund, giving your spouse a raise. But only if your spouse stands to receive a raise. If they're not receiving a raise, you can't vote on that budget. So, remember, if it's given a raise, you have to abstain, that changes the membership, changes the majority, and passes the budget. So, if you want to abstain, it breaks y'all to 9, it make it 5, it passes the budget. For that part. But as a whole, you do not have to abstain. So, good.
I think so, thank you.
Does anybody, the last thing I'd like to cover for you is, has anybody got any questions on the cash flow analysis documents we got from you?
I have no question, just one other comment on that. Just for everyone to have the knowledge that we have, if you don't have it, our transit note, and I did up for it, and is a total of $1 million. Exactly, $1 million. Okay? That just means borrowed funds of the schools, education debt service account. Which means we are using borrowed monies to pay our bills, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, up until minimum of December. And hopefully to be able to start paying it back in January 7th. And by the way, that's exactly the same scenario that we've occurred for 2 prior years. So if there's any impression at all that somehow the financial condition of this county is significantly improved, or there's something magic word out there that is gonna save us, it's not happening. We've got major financial responsibility for citizens of this county to step up and get our house in order. On the comptroller, I can't speak for them, but they're gracious enough to give Brent and the administration and us an opportunity to absolutely turn the corner on this, but as of the moment, we're struggling to where we have been for the last 2 years, maybe 3, I know the last 2 years.
We need to also remember any lawsuit settlements that may be coming up, so that won't even be in here.
Well, our insurance will cover that, we've already paid.
Is it all insurance on that?
Yeah, we were gonna pay for the deduction.
Lawsuit should be covered.
But just to rehash what Ronnie said on your yellow document here is where you'll see your trend coming in the form of 300,000, 330, and then 369. And essentially, the goal is to pay it back 1 million by February. We're currently, the fund balance in county general is sitting at $279,000. So, pay your taxes early. Yeah, Greg, go ahead, please.
I just had, one thing that I said I would, put out here as an option to everybody. Here it is. I was asked to bring this option, and I talked with the mayor, and Roger Parker. And they said, Andy said, by approval of his people, which is the they would fix the compactor as an option. But Roger said that he would haul trash $400 load. That we do something else. Now, I'm proposing it. That's what I said, this is an option. I said I'd do it, and I'm doing it. So, should we do something else, don't want no contract? Or nothing else?
May I?
That's in here by money.
May I say something?
I don't know no other particular, so you say all you want to.
And I want this understood. There was a conversation between Mr. Parker and Brent where they were witnesses that heard it. Mr. Parker told him in so many words to shut it. Okay, so that's a done deal.
Who are you to say?
Number 2.
Who are you saying, number 1?
Well, if anybody can say shut.
Who are you saying anything's a done deal? That's 10 people on this board.
Well, that's fine.
In the county jail.
But what I'm saying.
Who are you to say that anything is a done deal?
Look, anytime that we sit here, and that's just like, them wanting to spend money on that hot program.
I'm just for this.
I understand, but I'm just, I'm trying to explain that when you put that money in that hopper, in the shape the hopper itself's in, it's leaking hydraulic oil, it's wore out. If they put that money in, if the city wanted to spend taxpayers' money on just trying to get by, that ain't right to the people that pay taxes.
The next question, that if it is fixed or not fixed, who pays for the trash from the trash truck that goes to Midpoint landfill?
That right there, we don't have an obligation.
I'm just making sure, is that clear? The city is gonna be obligated, they're not gonna send me a bill for Midpoint trash, because I've got bills in here already from Midpoint trash right here, which I'll be taking notes and sending them to the city of Woodbury.
Yes.
I'm not clear, it's just an option that I said.
I know. I'll sit down with Mr. Duggan and clarify, because I do know I have tracked everything in the 1st of September, what's left from the county.
Plus that
I do have those, I don't have the exact dates, I'm just making the comment, am I responsible for the city trash that leaves the town of Woodbury at the other end? Yeah.
And you also had to say, you authorized that to be done if anyone,
Well,
before September 1.
Who carried the trash to the vehicle is, it would be my question, and if you don't. Right.
Mayor Woodbury,
He authorized somebody to take it down there?
he sent his trash trucks down.
They have no other choice.
They had no other choice. The trash compactor broke Tuesday of last week. They had no other place to take it. I'm just telling you, they're sending us, the county, the bill.
Okay,
the
my
weight bill.
question to Ben would be, do we not have to, would we not still have to pay it? Because their county, their county residents, county pays county, city residents pay county taxes just like they pay city taxes.
Can I qualify on that? Sure.
Okay, I have to make a comment here.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'm the vice mayor of the town of Woodbury, and I can tell you right now, we are citizens of this county. We pay our county taxes. So please, don't refer to it as the trash from Woodbury.
Well, what is?
Well, Mr. County Executive, it is mixed in with county trash also. Right now, we are in a position that we're gonna have to find other options simply because you will not allow us to repair or replace that compactor for whatever reason you have. But we pay county taxes the same as everybody in the first, second, third, and fourth district for solid waste. We are no different from anybody else in this county. And so don't call it the Woodbury trash. And by state law, by state law, you are obligated to pay a tipping fee if we have to haul our trash to Middle Point. There.
May I ask?
Go right ahead.
The city of Woodbury,
Are you talking about the citizens
No,
of the fifth district,
please,
Mr. Reed?
Please let me finish. The city government that operates under the name of the town of Woodbury pays no taxes.
Excuse me?
The citizens in the city do pay county taxes.
Well, of course.
Now,
And we also pay city taxes.
yes, ma'am,
Point of order.
everyone that is a citizen that lives in the fifth district has every bit the opportunity to take their trash over there and put it in themselves, just like I do living in Greenville. But now, the city government pays no taxes.
I didn't say the city government paid taxes.
No,
I said
ma'am.
I said the residents of the fifth district pays county taxes.
Yes, ma'am, and I said the same point.
And so
But the-
solid waste is managed by the county,
But the city government.
okay? And so the citizens of the fifth district pay their taxes that goes towards solid waste.
And they're free to put it in their vehicle and carry it over there. The city of Woodbury truck, however,
But
is
you will
not.
not accommodate
Can I,
us. Yes,
May I, please?
yes.
Okay, I think the underlying problem here is the fact that two things. Number one, the city, and you correct me if I'm wrong, collects commercial waste, is that correct?
Well, okay.
You pick up Hardee's, McDonald's.
I'm gonna circle back around to this. We pick up, there are several county entities located within
Correct.
the town of Woodbury, okay? We pick up from the school board, from the two schools located within the city of Woodbury, from the ambulance service.
Yes, ma'am.
From the health department. Yes, we pick all of that up. And guess what? those are county entities.
Yes.
But we accommodate them by picking up their trash.
But don't you also pick up Hardee's, McDonald's, Fred's?
Yes,
Dollar
because
General?
they
They pay you
taxes.
money for that.
No, they pay taxes.
You have about a $25,000 revenue every year.
But that revenue goes toward maintenance, goes toward hauling.
But you're
goes
charged-
toward
but-
Maintenance of
But
the
you see,
truck.
that's forcing the county residents to subsidize
Oh, no.
picking up
No,
commercial
no.
trash.
No. County residents do not subsidize what we are doing as far as solid waste is
Well,
concerned.
what I'm saying though is, if you had a truck and it was designated to go around and pick up residential garbage, I would absolutely be in 100% support of you taking that up there to our dump. But when you commingle
Wait a
that.
minute, it's our dump too.
I mean hours of county.
Okay.
I don't mean,
Thank
let me play hours of county. I'm fine with that going up there if it was all residential garbage, but I don't feel right charging me or anybody else in the county to pick up Hardee's and McDonald's and Fred's and Dollar General and all these others. Does that make sense?
Well, no, Corey, I'll tell you the reason why. Because they are corporate partners for the whole county. They pay
Is the city
property
attorney
tax, they generate
I
revenue
understand what
for
you're
the
saying, but I work
county.
at General Mills, and they do the same thing for Rutgers. But we do not expect the city of Murfreesboro to come pick up our trash. We outsource that to solid waste management. We don't expect the city of Murfreesboro to pick up that trash just because they provide jobs.
Let's let, Al and the city speak, please.
Matthew Cowan, I'm the city attorney for the town of Woodbury. It's our position as it stands, we still have to consider this contract goes into next year. So if the town of Woodbury is going to drive our trucks to the landfill, we understand we have to maintenance those trucks, we have to pay those employees. But because taxes are levied to the entire residents of the entire county as they are, it's our position that the tipping fee should be paid by the county. Now, once that contract is over, I think we need to have a discussion on what happens at that point.
How do you get around the fact that you charge the citizens to pick up that garbage, and then you turn around charging us to haul it?
Well, wait a minute, we're not charging citizens.
You don't charge the city of Woodbury citizens to pick up their garbage, so it's free. You don't pay the taxes.
That's part of what, their taxes.
You pay those city taxes.
I'd like to hear from Ms. Ray.
We
I'd like to hear the lead. I'd like to hear from Mr. Rogers, legalities from the county's position.
We
Now that we
are
thank
not
you for.
charging the citizens of Woodbury to pick up their trash.
Okay, Kim, please.
If you don't, I just have, I think that what we're looking for is a fair and equitable way to solve your solid waste problem.
Absolutely.
So, I understand, I empathize with where the city is, but I will maintain that it's not the county's responsibility to build infrastructure for the city to take their waste, to a location. So the county has an obligation, since it collects taxes on everyone, to provide for disposal. Now, if y'all wanna haul your waste to, Middle Point, I'm not sure where the haul bill should be, brought forward to the county.
It's not the haul bill, it's the
If it's the
tipping bill.
disposal part, until some sort of contract changes, maybe that is an equitable way to look at it. But looking long-term, is it really right to say that the city should, that the county builds the infrastructure for the city? I don't know that there's any grounds for that, or even, place that we can look to that and see it in historic information.
And that was my point to the county executive. I'm only talking about the duration of this contract. I'm not even talking about long-term.
And I apologize, but what contract did you make with?
The contract with the landfill.
I'm sorry, okay, but that contract is between county and Midpoint, correct?
Yes, which we are part of.
I've got you on speakerphone here.
Okay, y'all's name is mentioned in that contract?
We are part of the county.
I understand, but, and I apologize, but I'm no lawyer, I have no legal background in any fashion, okay? Council was making,
I think
once the city takes possession of that, if they chosen to provide curbside service, once they take possession of that trash, the city's trash.
No, the meeting is still in progress.
But I understand what you're saying, but you
We're
understand
responsible for their trash until June
Okay,
two thousand
from that perspective of
nineteen.
as far as any resolution that
I've
is
got
passed.
Mr. Howard here legally representing the city of Witherspoon. I'm sorry, but, Mr. Mike Forley is on the phone. He had a family emergency. He couldn't be here tonight. He wants the best to be here. And we talked earlier today. I'm sorry, I got speakerphone, I got microphone mic, I got you on speakerphone. And I may be speaking for you, but Mr. Calvin from the city, if you'd like to speak up here, come a little bit closer, we can hear the city's position concerning the trash hauling from the city trash truck. Please, Mike, can you hear him?
Good evening. And I'm here just to answer questions. This is not a court hearing. I'm not here in that fashion at all. But it's the position of the town of Woodbury that if we are going to take our trucks to landfill, that the tipping fee should be paid for by the county as we are part of the county. I'm not talking about a long-term solution. I'm not even reaching that question. So we're here basically to start this dialogue tonight. There are a lot of rumors floating around earlier in the week that we had started litigation. That is in no way true. We're here to start a dialogue tonight, and hopefully, like I worked with Mr. Corley, we can look at these statutes that are the requirements. We can look at the Tennessee Constitution, what's required under equal protection of that. But I'm not here to accuse anyone. We're not starting litigation. We're here to start a dialogue tonight. And I think that's the posture of the board of alderpersons for the town of Woodbury. So that's really all I have to say. Unless there's specific questions on the spot.
Mike, did you hear that? Ronnie, do you have anything to say concerning our position?
I'm not sure I understand completely their position. I think that the current operation of the landfill, the convenience center is lawful in that any citizen of the county can bring the garbage, consumer household waste to the facility and it'll be handled. Once another entity, whether it is a private hauler, whether it's a municipal hauler, once that is attempted to be brought there, then there needs, the fees available, need to be in place to cover that. And there's nothing that violates Tennessee TCA on that I see. All that we have to do is make sure that we operate it the same way. If the city elects to collect garbage, they can certainly do that, provide a greater service. And if they decide to take it somewhere, they're gonna have to pay to do that, and that would include to our facility. In the past, that's been done for contract, and to my understanding, there is no contract in place, so I would encourage the parties to discuss that, and come up with an arrangement. I think it's kind of exactly right. We need to begin the discussion and dialogue, and I think we've got mutual problems, but we ought to be able to mutually solve.
And I think that the issue is the fee, the tipping fee from their city trash trucks with probably household trash and commercial trash showing up at Midpoint landfill and handing the county the ticket to pay for that. And that's really I think, is the issue.
And if I could say, that has been a temporary thing because of the compactor going down. That was not going on before these issues started a week or so ago. And Vice Mayor, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But this has been our temporary fix to take this trash that we've collected, that the citizens of the district have. So.
And I'm just trying to, in our limited budget constraints, well, I do not think we're even financially able to pay for. And know that they don't hear the separation between city and county trash, but that's just where we're at financially. And I just wanted to make sure we were within our legal rights. Have I misspoke? Mike?
No, I think that's absolutely correct. I think, one thing to be considered is putting a group together, sit down, talk about it, makes it a whole lot better to do that, and, outside of the strength of the meeting, and begin dialogue, and then try to come up with an agreement that's suitable to both parties, and then can be approved by both, the county operating agreement. You know, that's not gonna happen tonight, they don't wanna do that.
And I think the town will be open to that, that's all.
Commissioners, y'all have any questions concerning? What do you want me to do as the county executive? I'm your administrative officer, I'm your executive, I will execute what you want me to do.
Well, I think I need to speak, and Kim, I think you certainly consider speaking.
Stand by, Mike.
I attended the Harper's meeting on Tuesday night and listened to the comments that were made up there, and appreciate the opportunity to make some comments. And they certainly recognize there's a problem, and we certainly know that there's a problem. From our perspective, it's really a huge financial element that's staring us in the face to deal with. But as a citizen of the fifth district, which means I'm a city resident, as well as a county resident, make both city and county property taxes, when I campaigned for this position, and I was reminded by one of the aldermen up Tuesday night that I certainly represent the city as the fifth district, and I mean that's okay. I just want things to be fair. That's what I campaigned on, that people be treated right and be fair. That I can look you in the face and explain my position, my vote. So I'll make sure that the residents in the Bill County is treated just as fair as our residents in the first, second, third, and fourth districts. We're not no elite group in the fifth district. We don't demand any more, and we certainly don't demand any less. But we want to be treated fair in this process. And we can't change what's been in the past, but I do know from this perspective financially, where we sit today, our decisions got to be made. And yes, we should have reasonable people from both our cities, governing body, and from our county governing body, to be able to sit down around the table and put our heads together and solve this problem. We're smart people. We got people with abilities to be able to achieve that. But I don't have the answer today to write the check personally to cover the obligations that are there to be paid. That is just a fact. That's just a fact. That has to be dealt with today, short. It's a fact. So, I say that as a fifth district commissioner, and I want to be part of the solution, not the problem. Okay? We gotta work together to make this work.
I think we all want to be part of the solution, and I think we made that clear Tuesday night when we had the conversation. We are all residents of this county, all of us. And in order for us to have a solution, we need to come together as two governmental bodies to work on this. Now, unfortunately, when that compactor stopped working, that forced us into a situation of hauling our trash to Middle Point. Otherwise, we would not have been in that situation, because, as you well know, the truck that picks up the solid waste here in the town of Woodbury, it has to unload a certain way. It can't unload into a dumpster. It compacts. It's got to unload into whatever at Middle Point. That's why we're in this situation right now with hauling our trash. Those trucks are not designed to do that. And we do not make money off of hauling solid waste, Cory.
Ma'am, I'm going by what your mayor told me. And he said that you made $25,000.
We'll sit down and talk about that, but we can show you, Mrs. Odom can show you that we definitely don't make money off of solid waste, far from it. But, along the lines of what Mr. Mahaffey has just said, it would be wonderful if we could sit down as two bodies and come up with a solution for the county, because we're all residents of the county.
If I may, I won't speak to Mr. Corley, but I would think he would agree with me, we would rather you all work this out. But I think we all agree, last thing this county needs is another lawsuit. So we'll try to work something out and we'll do the legal side of it.
Mr. Lou, you had to, you wanted to make.
Here's my concern, looking into this is kind of an equal protection argument, like Mr. Cowan was saying, but here's the hypothetical that I think of. The county has an obligation, we're gonna let's hypothetically take the city of Woodbury out of this. The county has an obligation to Cannon County residents to have the dump available for Cannon County residents. So with the city collecting their garbage and sending the tipping, and saying that the county needs to pay for it, that's one thing. I guess the hypothetical I would ask is, I don't live in the city, I live in the first district. If me and 25 of my neighbors all got together and took all of our trash to the landfill in Murfreesboro, would you, the county, be obligated to pay our tipping fee as private citizens getting together? And make that comparative analysis as it pertains to the city. And that's the concern is, because I understand the city's got to do what they've got to do to get their trash, away, and it's not reasonable to expect the city to park it next to the dump, but.
Just to clarify, at the end of this month, we will not be a transfer station. And so the forcing mechanism is to make us be a transfer station is problematic for us as a county, because we don't have the money to become a transfer station. So you're asking us to do something that, number one, we can't do. And number two, we're not required to do. Because what we're required to be a convenience center for individual household waste. That's what the law states. And Mike, and correct me, Kim, am I misspeaking? Because the conundrum here is a transfer station. That's really what it is.
Sure, no, you're right, that's, I think, where we're stuck, and, I think the idea of you all coming together and coming up with something that works for the short haul is probably a good idea, but in the long haul, these are contracts that need to be made, either jointly, where the city of Woodbury and, Cannon County have a contract with Middle Point Landfill, or it is just the county. And if it's just the county, then the county gets a fair amount of weight in saying how that garbage is moved and under what terms to Middle Point Landfill or whatever landfill. So the transfer station is indeed the sticking point, because the city needs somewhere to not move front-end loaders 16 miles down the road. They're not designed for that either. They're designed to go 5 or 6 or 10 or 12 miles. So, but again, back to infrastructure for that becomes the responsibility of the city to provide that infrastructure, if that's the collection mechanism that the city wants to have for collecting waste. You're providing a collection service. You're not providing a disposal service. Your assumption is that the county is going to pay disposal because the county is collecting tax for disposal. We saw earlier the county's not collecting quite enough even for disposal, honestly, by the time you add hauling in. So there's a shortage, even if it was just that. So somewhere in this, infrastructure has to be considered, and that's capital outlay. There's no two bones about it. It's either private sector or it's a capital outlay of some sort to put that infrastructure in place.
And that's the only reason why I brought the clarity up, is because I just know that in talking to Mayor Duggan, that I told him I would do my best to work an agreement over the way tickets, but I wanted your guidance as the commission. What do you want me to do? Since I write the checks, we're fixing to have checks coming in from the city of Woodbury, separate loads of trash, out of trash trucks or out of anything. What am I required to do? What do y'all want me to do?
Can I ask a
Yes,
question
go ahead,
first?
sure.
Your input here, maybe Miss Lisa there, the environmental lady there. What I was wondering is I went up there and looked at that thing, and I saw some stuff there that didn't belong.
Well, I've been there before too, and you're right, it's only supposed to have residential solid waste.
No,
You know, there's a whole lot of materials that are supposed to be, source segregated and taken in a different way.
Yeah, trees don't work.
I'm
in it.
talking about maybe some other things on there on the ground, maybe some, and I hate to say, but environmental things, environmental waste maybe, it's on the ground. It
Like
was
paint.
really-
That's all it says.
Well, this is,
Is it worth, I mean, even if we said the city could have this, because, you know, I'm a city resident too. And my concerns are where that everybody is treated the same also. I feel the same way Mr. Ronnie does. But I also went up there and looked at that thing, and I saw, 5-gallon hydraulic, cans. If that was a tractor, I used to farm, if that was a tractor, I would be really concerned about my tractor.
right.
It's a 37-year-old piece of.
Yeah, but
Well,
I looked at it and I went, oh my goodness, it's rusted out.
And in addition to that, this is another, you know, it's not operated by a foreman that has the authority and the ability to, direct things to the right places, and those are hard jobs to have. Solid waste in general is a terrible job, a field to be in, it stinks. It's not safe, you know, solid waste drivers die all the time. It's one of the largest fatality, focused positions that a person can have. So there's a lot of reasons why people don't want those positions, and that this location doesn't really have anyone like that. It has people helping to unload at the top of the hopper there, and what goes on down in the other part of it is a kind of a free-for-all, honestly. It's whatever, you know, people get frustrated, they just toss what they have out. So it's either you have a strong, you know, regulatory framework on that, or it's gonna be chaotic. And that's a good argument for, a privatization, perhaps. It would be that turns that over to somebody else. So I do agree, if you go back to a residential system and you have someone at the gate that's just standing there saying, this can't go, this can't go, this can't go in the hopper, you're going to have a public relations issue for a long time until people get the hang of it. And then hopefully they appreciate it as being a better service and a better way for them to dispose of their trash.
Well, ma'am, you know, I understand what you're saying, but the young man that I've been working with throughout this week, that worked down there, these young men, they know what's right and wrong. They know what they are supposed to do, and they do it. The biggest problem was, they knew what they were supposed to do, but their boss told them otherwise. And said, you know, instead of the kids saying, no, we can't put this tree in this hopper, then they get a phone call and says, you let this man put this tree in this hopper. That was the deal that they've been dealing with. Now, since we've been working on this all this week, I told the gentleman, I said, if you do your job, I said, I'll have your back 100%. If you don't do your job and do things that you're not supposed to, you know, chances are you won't be working with the county anymore. But these young men that are working up there right now, they're doing their job. And they've got a boss that told them what their job was. And there's no qualms. They don't have to worry about a thing no more.
And I've talked with people on the phone, and I've been on the site, I've been at work since the 1st of September. I stood there and told people, I can only take your household garbage. That's it, that's all we have the capability of doing, and that's all we'll continue to do. And then, oh, by the way, we may, like I said, may, and that's based on this body, become, be reborn as a transfer station. And I'm telling you, we're not there. We don't have the money to run it. And it's,
to back trailers up now and take trash from the trash compactor. The trailers are not there, they're not even able, we have to go in and have another, that's not even part of our capital outlay to buy trailers to back up to the trash compactor, because the trailers are not safe. We have dry goods containers, our dry good trailers that are backed up, we're taking household trash, and if you come up there and we're not taking tires, we've got the tire guy coming tomorrow, we're paying for the removal of tires. We're working future outlay with the cardboard and things of that nature. I just needed y'all's guidance concerning the way tickets that I know that are coming from the city of Woodbury.
And I would like to hear from Ben what he has to say on that.
I refer to Kim, because she's an expert in solving this, and I don't want to sit there and pitch in stuff I don't know, but, I know Kim knows what I do, about the household trash, and she's done a great job of explaining it, so I refer to her. I'm a numbers guy.
I think one way on the short term, maybe to look at these way tickets as they come in is to maybe start to look at what percentage of Woodbury's disposal is residential versus which is commercial. That might be something that the county and the city want to look at in that discussion of that. Other than that, I guess I'm saying that's up to you all to decide where you are. I don't have any guidance on.
I wanted y'all to be mindful that, again, when I look at the cash flow sheet for solid waste, as we look at last month's estimate, again, look at it again, look at the hard numbers.
Brett, maybe you and Andy could sit down and work out something where we both pay a portion.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
Let's just walk the dog on this now, again. You got cash receipts in July and August, $16,000. We got cash payments going out, county, July and August, approximately $71,034, $85,482. We are budgeting for payments, half.
Right. I apologize for interrupting your thoughts, whatever, but to address the Vice Mayor's comments, and she was correct in the comments that she made, and what brought this thing to a head, the breakdown of contract, and that is correct, across the board. But folks, as soon as Brent started getting the bills and adding this stuff up, and looking at the hard numbers, the reality of the true numbers, not budget committee numbers that we gave to the commissioners to put in for our budget. I apologize, I was a member of that budget committee for 18, 19 years, fiscal year. The decision that budget committee made was based upon data. It was showing that there's not a line in it. The reality of the numbers that the bills are. So even though that was the trigger point, we're bringing this to a head, the bomb went off, and the bills came in the amounts that they are, that has to be paid. So the reality is, and that's why Brent's saying, look at it a little more time, folks. Here's your money. That's it, bills got to be paid. Here's your money. It's just as simple. And I can't correct back errors, I can't correct prior decisions, I can't do anything, I want to do years going forward. But the matter of the amount of trash that went down there to be paid did not align with the cost of that amount of trash. For the amount of money that the citizens of this county was putting in the till that we allotted from the budget fee to the commission to meet the reality of the actual cost that we're incurring. So what do you do? So and I'm just gonna make this general statement and we'll shut up. Basically, one way or another, based on the amount of money we currently have, and trying to make ends meet with the tax revenue comes in, we have to come out, cut this trash in half to reduce our costs roughly in half, if I'm wrong, correct me. So that's huge. That's huge. But that's the reality of the numbers we're doing. Since
the city does pick up some of the county's trash, but they also pick up some commercial trash. I would like for you and Andy to sit down together and try to work out a way where both of us pay some of it.
We don't know what they pick up. How about if we have like a residential list of what they pick up? I mean, I have no idea what the city picks up, all I'm doing is hearsay. So I have no idea what they pick up.
But I don't
This is
think
the
that's
other
gonna
thing,
pay
this,
like, wait a minute.
this is the other thing, is that, that Kim even said, is that the average person goes through 4.5 pounds of trash a day. A commercial business has way more, than that amount of trash per day. I don't understand why we feel obligated to do any of this commercial trash, and if we haven't been able to separate. The city of Woodbury is perfect, and the county of Woodbury, is, District 5, sorry, don't wanna offend, is perfectly entitled to come over and take their trash just like all the other districts. I don't understand why
And take
they're
this in consideration too.
having to pay us this
Like
huge fee. We
Jimmy
don't have the
was
money.
See, their biohazard waste, they're combining with family trash. It's supposed to be separate. So, I mean, just think of that alone. Yeah,
Again, like.
you know, needles and stuff like that. Now, sorry, Brett, as far as these two ladies here and their recommendations of what we need to do and what we're obligated to, I say we don't pay the bills. No.
I don't think you can just totally turn off the citizens that live in the city and.
We
say,
not.
Yes, you are.
They've got an ability to go over there to dump and dump their trash.
But it's already done.
That's what Harvey's and all of those places pay taxes. I think Taco Bell pays close to 8,000, and it's one of the lowest taxes. That tax is broken down by the tax levy, it goes into the solid waste fund.
It's called dumpsters, that's what every business does, it's part of the
But
business
it's
cost. No,
Absolutely, if they hire someone to go get their dumpster, take it over and dump it, they're paying it.
it's part of a business cost.
You know, Craig,
What she's talking about is the truth. In Murfreesboro, anywhere else. it's
Any
dumpsters.
city, yes, dumpsters, we don't know.
That's the cost of doing business.
It's residential.
and see, Crane Industries they already had put money aside knowing this day was coming. They're getting their own dumpsters.
Property tax breaks because of that, because they pay property taxes.
That's what I
Or the
just
county
wondered.
could take their garbage to
If they're part of the levy,
Just like residents will do
if they're part of the levy is going into solid waste, and they're not receiving that part of the solid waste.
Again, before we continue to beat this dead horse, we'll continue to work the issue. I just need to know a decision from the commission. What do you want to do? What do you want me to pay for? Because I can't get money that I don't have.
This vote.
I think it's close.
You need a
Okay,
motion.
let's.
I need a motion.
Motion vote?
I already made a motion.
What's the motion?
What is?
Not
the
to pay, not to pay the ticket fee.
City trash.
So the motion is to not pay
Yes,
the tipping fees that the city of Woodbury incurs when they drive their trucks to the Fort Leonard.
right.
Take household goods, city residents. You need clarity on it. You need more clarity. Make sure that.
No, I mean, the cities, the residents are welcome to bring their stuff over there. That's not been an issue.
In a bag.
In a bag.
Okay, is everybody clear on what you voted for?
Is there a second?
Who-
I'll second.
Did you get that? Who made the motion?
Jim,
I did.
Okay, all right, call the roll.
Janine Floyd.
Yes.
yes, what?
Yes, let's make sure we're voting. No, we're
Yes.
voting yes, not to
Yes, not to pay
city.
for city, the city, tipping fee.
Correct. Okay. Yes, not to pay for the
That's
city.
crazy.
Okay, all right.
Russell Reed.
Yeah.
Corey Davenport.
Yes.
Aaron Ashford.
No,
Jim Bush.
Yes.
Greg Mitchell.
You got no money?
Brett Brandon.
Yes.
Randy Gannon.
At this time, yes.
Tim Davenport.
saying, I'm for solving the problem. I understand, there's a problem, we have got to solve the problem. At this point, in the short term, the decisions we already made, don't have money, you can't pay the bill. That's a fact. The county does not have the money to pay the bill. So I gotta, yes.
Any other business?
I have one thing, but I'm gonna try to be very quick with this. Because I did-
Before we go, let me speak first, Corey, before you move,
Go ahead,
get times for that. I think what everybody needs to also realize, and I'm saying this as a member of the budget committee in the past years, and especially this past year, the city of Woodbury has been paying the county or Penn County $40,000 a year to put trash into the landfill, or into the convenience center here. That's been going on, I don't know how many past years, but as of January, or as of this year, that money is not there, so that's also compounded our shortage. I mean, the commissioners made the move to cover the 100,000 plus the 40,000 not coming from the city, and we still got a problem. So everybody needs to remember, the city residents, and I'm a city owner, I don't live in the city, but I own property here, so I can speak on the city's behalf. That's money that did not go to the county anymore to help with our landfill, with our solid waste.
Can I say something? 20 years ago, that paid 50-50. When I got elected county executive, the city refused to pay. They hauled the trash down there 3 years and paid for it. We didn't pay anything. That's the way it was.
Any else support?
I asked Ben, to work with me on a proposal for our wheel tax that we currently have. And we, the citizens of all the counties, in 1975, they created a private act to create a $10 wheel tax. And that $10 wheel tax was designed to go toward paying for the high school. Now, the high school was paid off sometime in the 1990s, I don't remember when. But we've still collected that $10 for all these years. Now, that wheel tax, or I'm sorry, that private act specifically says that $10 must be used for school construction or building, that type of thing. Now, the other $40 came into play in 1999 when we built Woodbury Grammar School, and we put the additions on the other schools as well. That $40 actually has money, or it actually has debt assigned to it. That's what you're borrowing from, this $2.1 million that we've got in the Education Debt Service Fund is what's allowing us to borrow money. So we can't touch that $40, but that $10, and I've asked Ben, what could we do with that $10? And the answer is, if we choose to, we can pass a resolution to ask. My first question is, does anybody want to take it off? Because I will be the paper of that.
No, I asked Ben about a year and a half ago about changing the $10 to a capital outlay item so we can buy a fire truck, fix buildings, ambulances,
we can
trash dumps.
So nobody wants to get rid of this $10. Let me be clear. Okay,
That
so.
would be illogical in our financial situation.
I agree with that. I would eventually say that I would love to, I'm kind of anti-tax, but anyway. We could take and pass a resolution and ask the county, or the state legislature, Mark Pody and Clark Boyd, to pass a private act to allow Cannon County to put that $10 back in general fund. And that $10, this is why I've been hounding the crap out of Diane, but that $10 right now is designated, or actually estimated to bring in, the whole $50 is estimated to bring in $670,000. So a fifth of that would be $134,000. So that $10, we could actually pass a resolution asking Mark and Clark to create a private act which would allow us to put it back in the general fund, which would allow us to use that money for anything. Now, my opinion of it right now is that's what we need to use a year from now for our financial director's salary. That way you have no tax increase, and all these people that are saying there's gonna be this massive tax increase, you literally paid for it right there. That director's salary plus 2 L. But in the meantime, we can use that money for whatever we need to until we get there. Yes, sir.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Curtis is sitting over here needing roofs on all of his schools.
That's correct.
Okay? Now, when you start messing with that $10, what's he gonna do?
Well, he's not getting any benefit from it right now because it's sitting in education debt service and not being used.
That's what I'm saying. But he has asked us to use that portion of that money.
He could, and I'm gonna be honest with you, that's the only thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brent, or Ben, the only thing that we can legally use that money for right now is to pay for construction, school, construction debt.
Out of debt service funds, use your principal and interest on that.
So we can't buy a fire truck, we can't spend it on the hopper up at the dump, we can't do any of those
Unless you
things.
finance,
It is a restricted fund.
roofs, the roofs will be
But
financed.
yeah, that's, roofs, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Roofs, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, for the school.
And I'll say this right here too, and this is my opinion behind this, because that's what this money's designated for. Them boys over there at that baseball field need bathrooms.
Absolutely.
And I can't imagine why we let that money sit right there when we know the only place we can use it is that particular thing. Why would we not put that in there? Because I'm sick of my boys going, not.
Well, you know,
Huh?
they've got sponsors right now that are supposed to be taking care
Well,
of that.
I think, I don't wanna speak on behalf of the sponsors, but I know they need about $35,000 more, and there's that money in there. Why don't,
So your point is that we need to write something up to send to, if we wanna do this, we can table this.
We can
bring
table
it-
it.
We can bring this up at the next, commission.
and I've got a lot of information, but we're 3 hours into this, and I'm not gonna flood you.
Mr. Curtis, if you will, would you give us your figures, next meeting we have?
I'm talking about on the roofs?
On the roofs.
Absolutely.
Just
In
your
fact,
cost.
the new commissioners, I'll get your email, I'll be glad to send you our roof, evaluation reports.
Could you also do the
You know,
same?
high school is the major one right now, as we've talked to this commission multiple times. High school is the major one, then the grammar school, believe it or not, is probably number 3.
Could you also give us the estimates on?
Absolutely, and I'll send you a whole packet. I'll send you that, column and have that, and I can get that.
Yes, I have a recess?
Next regular meeting's October 13th.
The next regular meeting again is scheduled for October. You wanna have a mid-meeting, you wanna have a mid-month meeting?
If we recess this, we don't have to call a special call meeting.
Why don't we just recess it and that way?
Recess for 2 weeks.
You need-
Recess for 2 weeks? We leave it at 6. Can we move to 6? Recess.
What'd he say?
No, I think-
6:30?
I know I can help Randy.
Good, all you big sisters.
We're gonna pick a date, or we're gonna recess this meeting?
I think we need to pick a date.
Well, it's 2 weeks from Thursday.
You talking about the 20th?
Recess this meeting.
To recess this meeting until
To the 20th of September at 6:30.
6:30.
Well, that's what we're doing on TV. Doesn't matter. The 18th, could we do it on the 18th?
You're on my
Everybody
motion.
else. Tuesday, the 18th. I'll make that motion. Got a second? Say all in favor.